Nice meeting you.
Welcome to Chatter Game, a pod about the magic and the gathering. I'm your host, Hope Speakin, but you can call me Jose. And today we have an absolutely spectacular guest. Look, I love all of our guests, but this guest in particular is doing something that I wanted to do in all my life, which is basically just make the world a better place through magic. And I'm so excited to get to talk to Harmless Offering today. Harmless, welcome.
Hi. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here and hang out with you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, okay, so for real, Jason and I are both so excited for you to be on here because we think what you're doing is such amazing work. But before we get into that, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I just finished off a 6-day stretch at work, so I'm glad to be just chilling out and talking magic.
Awesome. Yeah, and I mean, so you've had a 6 day stretch of work, and before that, you had PAX Unplugged, right? So like,
Yes.
that's going to be my first question here because I know that you had a project going into that. So do you want to talk to us a
Yes.
little bit about that?
So what I did at PAX, and this was on top of, so it was kind of like multifaceted. First of all, I was just walking around with a binder that said free magic cards on it, and anyone who decided they wanted to talk to me would get to pick out a free card. And my favorite thing I did with that was just the fact that I decided, you know what, I'm gonna have people, because some people don't like taking things for completely free. It's just something that they don't like to do.
Yeah.
And so I was like, in exchange, all I'm asking is that you signed one of my basic lands. So I have a binder that's full of all the signatures of people with basic lands that I gave cards to at the convention. And then the second thing that I did was I bought three people cards that they were like really dreaming of having. The first one was like my test run, so I don't think I kind of got the concept across. The first thing that you can watch the whole thing on YouTube if you want to. You can find me on YouTube. And like the first, she's like, I would love to have one of the neon avatar cards. And I'm like, "Oh, I can't do that. I can't afford that." And she didn't know I was gonna buy her something when I asked the question, but then I ended up getting her a Minas Tirith. But then I bought the coolest thing I did was I ran into this kid named Eli, and I ended up buying him something. You can watch the video if you wanna see the whole thing. But I met him and his dad was like, "What is happening right now? What are you doing? Who are you? And why is this happening?" But and then I bought someone else who is another content creator. His channel is called Shuck and Not Stirred. He makes content around Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, really kind of whatever he wants to, which I really love that he's just doing what he wants to.
Yeah.
That's the way to make content.
Absolutely. And so that actually kind of leads into another question I have. We're gonna put that on the back burner right now. But as it
Yeah.
comes to PAX, how was the whole experience even outside of the like gifting cards and things like that?
PAX is I've been to a few conventions. I live in Connecticut, so I've gone to ConnectiCon. I've been to Magic Con and I've been to SEG Con, and I'll be honest, PAX Unplugged was one of my favorite one I've ever been to. I
It
think
seems
that
way more relaxed.
it's way more relaxed. It is much more like it's so broad
Yeah.
that you can find something. And so like sometimes if you're at a Magic Con and you've just been playing Magic for 30 hours straight, you start to feel really burnt out. But at PAX Unplugged, like, you go around, check out the vendors, check out these different board games, and also so, like, my brother and I found this new game that's, like, apparently, like, a massive deal in Canada called Hole, which is
I've heard of it.
like a dexterity-based game,
Yeah.
and we probably spent about as much time playing Hole as we did Magic that weekend. And
That's
he just got like last night we played together at his house because his Hole board came in yesterday. So
nice.
like we found something else that we love outside of Magic. And also, I think a big part of the reason why it runs so well, and I think probably the biggest benefit is the fact that PAX does a really good job of staffing the
Mhm.
convention with their enforcers. So if you've ever been to PAX East, PAX West, or PAX Unplugged, there's an entire staff of people they're paying them, but they're essentially volunteers and that love the convention and love creating a great experience. And so, like, I think that's a huge reason why PAX almost feels a little bit more chill, is because if something's going wrong, there's someone that works for the con company that's there that's gonna take care of it.
I love that. And from everything I could tell while I was, keeping up with your stuff, and obviously you were hanging out with T Beer a ton. Shout out T Beer. Shout out Robert Redbeard was there too, right?
Yeah, they were both there,
You all were
and
posting like you had a bunch
and
of fun.
Goblin Grounds.
And Goblin Grounds, yep, yep. And then separately, Steph and Brad from Steel City were posting a
Oh,
bunch of stuff.
Steph.
I love
Yeah.
they're so great. And I like everyone who I was because I live in Ohio. So
Yeah.
part of me was like, "Oh, I really wanna go." It's not that far. I can figure this out. But just got done with MagicCon. As
Um,
some people know, and Harmless, this is also another reason why Harmless means so much to me is after I lost my job, Harmless, one of the first things Harmless did was reach out to me, make sure I was okay, told me, if you need anything. And that meant a lot to me, by the way. I
yeah,
wanna
of course.
let you know that. But I maybe next time there's the unplugged over there, I'll be wanting to go because it seems like the most fun group of people were there. Like for
Yeah.
real. It seems like it was just a bunch of board games, which I love board games. Board games are fantastic. Magic's great too. Like don't get me wrong, but give me a Splendor, give me, Pandemic, something like
Yes.
that. Like I just something where I can just have fun, kind of turn off brain a little bit and not feel like super competitive, but still want to win. I'm super
Yeah.
happy. I'm super happy.
Another little shout out, another vendor that was there that has done some artwork for me and also makes some incredible games is John from Terrible Games. He's a indie board game publisher out of Baltimore, and his games are really interesting and really cool. I picked up a copy of his game Token Terrors Battlegrounds because it's a little bit faster, but he also has this game that's called Black Mold, which the whole premise of the game is that your turn lasts as long as you can hold your breath.
Oh, okay. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
That's
And
very, very
so
interesting.
like I got to see him, which was cool. Picked up a copy of his game, but like yeah, I would say the nice thing about PAX Unplugged 2 is that I believe it's always in Pennsylvania somewhere.
Yeah.
And so that having that kind of consistency is nice, whereas Magic
Yeah.
Cons are all over the place.
Yeah. Like I got to go to Atlanta this year, which was a blast. I've been to Atlanta Airport, but I've never been to Atlanta proper, so that was a fun time. But like next year, I was hoping it would be in Chicago, not Chicago next year, which kind of it is
Yeah.
what it is. I get it. Like, who wants to be in February in the middle of Chicago? That can be tough sometimes. But yeah, I'm excited for other things that are coming up next year. Like I think I'm potentially going to SGC Con. Wow, I got out there. SGCG in Cincinnati.
Oh,
So
nice.
hopefully that'll be a possibility. Hopefully PAX next year. I was hoping to maybe do the Spotlight series in Toronto. I don't know if that's going to be possible. It's a little close time
Yeah.
frame, but there are so many other things other than like you said, like the big Magic Con situation where it's only Magic that have like either less people that you can meet more people at, or just do way more things than just play Magic.
Yeah.
And I think I think let me ask you this too while we're talking about board games before we move
Yeah.
on. What are some of your favorite board games?
So I really like Power Grid. There's a game called Hive,
Okay.
which is like it's not even really a board game. Like it comes in a bag and you're like using these different tiles to like try and box in your opponent's queen bee. That's a
Okay.
lot of fun. My wife and I play a lot of Star Realms on her iPad because like my we love board games in our house,
Mm.
but so for those that don't know, I have 3 daughters and I'm married, been married for 15 years and we have 3 daughters. So
Congratulations.
like we don't always have time to set up or tear down games. So that we were just talking about this last night about how like we literally have a basement full of board games that we don't play because we just don't have time, because when your kids are young, losing small pieces or things like that. Oh, one more game that I just thought of that's a lot of fun specifically to play with my kids, for those that have kids. It's a game called Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza.
Oh my god, I
Uh,
own that. I literally have it in the other room.
It's so much fun. Essentially, it's like another dexterity game where you're going around a circle and it's kind of like war and the fact that you're trying to get rid of all your cards, but it's really silly and it's fun.
It
So,
is. It's a lot of fun, especially with youngers. Like, it's a lot of fun because it's silly. It is silly as heck.
yeah.
I
So
I I love that.
if you haven't played that, I think it's like 20 bucks at Target. Just buy it. It's worth it.
It is. It is. It's a fun time, and you don't have to be a kid. Like, it's just fun for everyone. Me and my wife play it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a good time. It's just a good time. I agree. Well, so as we move on here, I talked about in the beginning how much I love what you do, and I know you've
Yeah.
been, as far back as I can tell, late 2020. So in the middle of one of the worst times that was going on in
Yeah.
recent memory,
Mhm.
you you decide to do this harmless offering.
Mhm.
What spurred that?
So it actually started a little bit sooner than that. So that's when I started making video content,
Okay.
but I originally started off on Twitter with a bigger focus on Twitter. And then my friend, a mental misstep, told me about TikTok and I was like, "Isn't that the app where they do dances?" And so
And you weren't wrong at the time.
yeah, and so I got onto TikTok. And what really spurred it on is I've like, and it's interesting to see how things have just kind of grown and changed for me. I've always liked making stuff or doing creative things. And so I got reintroduced to Magic in 2018 and I saw all the content creators doing their thing. And I was like, I don't just want to make the same content that everyone else is making because like more power to them, but like you can scroll like if you're on Magic online stuff, you can start scrolling through stuff and you see 3 or 4 creators that are not trying to copy each other. They just all had the same idea.
Mhm.
And so I was like, "You know what? I had recently just kind of like worked out in my personal life some of the things that were really important
Magic
to me,
cards
and
with
like
either game
generosity
pieces.
is absolutely one of my core values, and it always has been. Like, and so I was like, okay, so how can I build that into Magic? And so I was like looking through cards and doing stuff, and then I came across the card Harmless Offering, and I was like, I can work with that. And so I started the channel and was just like, "You know what? I had just recently got introduced to Commander and I loved how modular Commander was. It's like, "You know what? I'm gonna give away a Commander deck." And then the first Commander deck I ever gave away was a Sir Conrad the Grim deck, and then it blew up way more than I was expecting. Like I got to 1,000 followers in, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months,
Wow. That's
and
incredible.
then I just kind of kept doing it, and I was like, "You know what? I think I can realistically do this once a month." And so, for about 5 years, I gave a deck away every month,
It's incredible.
and then I started to get and then so, for those of you who don't know, kind of what I'm doing now I actually ended up building a website where people can just go on the site, pick out 7 cards, and then and then I will send them those cards for just the cost of shipping. I'm calling it free now. Like they're free. You're getting cards for free just because logistically I can't pay for shipping. But like so the reason that happened is because and kind of the general direction that both my content, my philosophy, and what my goals are, how it's all changing is the reason I started the Harmless Card Bank is because I was getting all of these messages and comments from people saying how disappointed they were that they didn't win. And it started to just like leave a bad taste in my mouth where it
Mhm.
was like there are all these people that want to be able to play these cards and they legitimately can't afford them.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's really upsetting." And so I just like, "You know what?" So I reached out to my patrons at the time, and I was like, "Hey, guys, I have this idea. I don't know whether it's going to even work. I don't know anything about building a website. I don't know any of this stuff." And, like, because I had, like, had a website set up for, like, merch or things like that, but I was like, "I have this idea where you can literally just go on the website and pick out some cards, and then I'll ship them to you." And I did the test run. It was only available to my patrons to, like, see how it worked, and it went crazy. So this was back in March of this year.
Okay.
So March of this year, I launched the Harmless Card Bank, and I just unless I got more since we've been talking, I have Do Not Disturb turned on. Unless we got more since we've been talking, we are now at over 4,200 orders placed, and I've shipped about 4,100 of them.
That's
And I'm
amazing.
doing and I'm doing this all just me and my brother,
While working.
while working full time, while having 3 kids. Yes.
It's
So
amazing.
so the goal at this point is to find a way to make this my full-time gig, while because the hardest thing is, like, I could monetize all this super
Yeah.
easily
Yeah.
if I wanted to. I could just start selling cards and go through the normal route, but that would be just missing the entire point of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's been the hardest part about making this sustainable, is finding a way to have this be something I can dedicate all of my time to, because with work, like, not including commute, I'm realistically working 45 hours a week, and, like, with lunch breaks and all that jazz. And then I'm coming home and I'm packing orders sometimes up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just so people aren't waiting a month and a half for their cards. So that's where I'm at right now, is I'm trying to figure out ways that we can make it more sustainable while still holding true to the concept.
It's such a, especially with this actually leads completely into something I was going to talk about, is the changes of social media over the time that you've been doing this, because a lot has shifted, right?
Yeah.
Like the way things are monetized in general, whether or not you're actually trying to give something out for free or if you're trying to, you know, sell something. Either way, social media has changed a lot. Has that changed how you've gone about things as well? And how has it affected you if it has?
It's affected me pretty dramatically because, like, so my biggest platform follower-wise is TikTok.
Yep.
So I have almost 32,000 followers on TikTok,
Yep.
but I get the least engagement on TikTok. And the reason I get the least engagement is because TikTok is really more, at this point, started off as a dance app, then it was a content app for like the pandemic times.
Yep.
And then in the last 2 years since the ban got announced,
Mm.
it really, more than anything, is an e-commerce website.
Yeah.
So, if you are not selling product through TikTok, your videos are not getting any traction at all. Like, unless you already have an established multi-million follower account, or you are selling TikTok Shop products, you're not getting engagement. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah.
And so I've recently made the shift more towards Instagram, partially because I don't know how I managed to have this happen, but, like, I've actually been able to monetize on Instagram, and I was
Good. Yeah.
monetized on TikTok, but I was only getting probably, I don't know, 80, 90 cents a week. And
Not
so,
not sustainable, obviously.
no.
Yeah.
And so with TikTok, I mean, with Instagram, you may see that I'm posting both still images and my videos.
Mhm.
And the reason I do that is because my still images are monetized, my videos are not. And
Interesting.
so, yeah, because the the video monetization on Instagram is different than the image monetization. I feel bad for people who are trying to literally just be content creators because the goalposts are constantly moving, constantly. It's stressful for me when I have a full-time job to support me while I'm doing this.
Yeah, I can't imagine the kind of stress that people who are focusing so hard. I obviously we both talked to a lot of them who are in the space, and it's TikTok has changed a lot. Even in just the year that I've been doing this, year next month, I guess, at time of recording, it's changed a ton just from there.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. It feels like Instagram is way gets way more traction for whatever reason. Still trying to figure out the YouTube part of it, but, everything in
YouTube is
in time.
YouTube is I've been trying to build YouTube forever. The hardest part about YouTube, and I'm sure so do you edit the podcast?
Yes, we do, yeah,
Okay. So you know how much time that takes.
yeah.
And
Well,
like
Jace does. Shout out Jace. Thank you, Jace. Love you.
but like but like even from an observation side of it,
Yeah,
like you know how much time it takes to edit and put out something that sounds and looks good. And if you're not making any money off of it, because YouTube rewards long form content.
yeah,
The short side of it is mostly unless you've built up an algorithm from being on YouTube for a long time, YouTube is just a bunch of AI slop.
yep. It
And
really is, yeah,
and so that's the hard part. Unless you're doing very high production quality video stuff like The Professor or Command Zone or Pack It Up with Ben
mhm,
Bateman. Unless you're doing that level of production, you're not getting throughput from shorts as much.
yeah. And it's hard because you have to make those to maybe get the traction for people to be able to see the longer form stuff,
Yeah.
but you're not seeing anything from it itself. And especially for you, where everything you're doing is in an effort to bring the community together, in an effort to make magic more accessible, more sustainable, just more friendly as a whole.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how, as much as you love it, how energy consuming and difficult that can be on its day. Um,
The
yeah,
the hardest thing is the thing that gets the most engagement and thus the most views is complaining.
yeah,
The negativity bias on social media is exhausting, and so that's the hard thing is because, like, there are things that I could get on and complain about,
yeah,
and, like, I can get on my channel and I can complain, and I can say this, that, but the problem is that I that's not something I'm willing to do,
yeah,
and I'd
yeah,
say that's the hardest part and why so like just today I don't know if you put if you saw this but like part of the goal with harmless offering that I'm trying to work towards now is to work away from the content side of it if it makes sense so that I can focus my time on the bank itself and hopefully the big goal for both my brother and I, and this has been my brother is father of nerds, he's only on TikTok. But the goal for him for a long, long time, and me more recently, has been to we want to open a local game store.
that'd be awesome.
Like so and we want to open a local game store that has the same ethos as Harmless Offering, but the difference is that there would still have to be some sort of profit available to actually run a store.
Yeah,
But like some of the goals that we have are essentially sealed products sold at MSRP in the store. Online is you can't sell at MSRP online without scalpers just taking it all.
yeah,
But like selling sealed product in the store at MSRP always, like it doesn't matter where it goes, the MSRP is what our price would be.
yeah,
And then kind of like we do on the Harmless web store right now, we have we sell if we sell So any cards that get donated to the Harmless Card Bank, we give away regardless of their value.
Yeah.
But if we like open packs ourselves or we buy product and we have cards that we don't want, we'll sell those on the Harmless web store and ultimately, hopefully, in this game store that we get to open through. Right now, we're doing 75% of market. We're probably going to end up in the store having to do 80% of market value, but all singles that we sell will be below market value to hopefully try and drive some of those costs down for those really popular cards.
Yeah. I think that's a really good way of going about it, especially I mean, if you're opening up a storefront, it's a different situation, right? Like you want to be able to give give away what you can, but it's
Yeah,
you also again, like you said, it's sustainable. It's sustainable as well. And I think that's a hard dichotomy people work have to have with when it comes to things like this, right? When from an outside perspective, they look at
yeah,
you doing this thing. We'll go on a larger scale, obviously, and he Mr. Beast, right? Like there are
yeah,
some things he does that are good. Like the whether however you feel about the games and the the Squid Game like aspect of him giving
yeah,
money. Like we'll go I that aside. We'll talk about like him like I helped 100 people gain sight stuff.
yeah,
Like that the reason that is up there is because there has to be a way to make money to make those things happen. And
yeah,
then you get the people who say, "Why are you monetizing this? Why blah 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 blah." And it's so hard and so frustrating when to be able to do the kind things, you have to have money. And to be able
yeah,
to get money, you need to be able to do something that will make
yeah,
it known that you're doing these things so that people can support. So it's just a vicious cycle. And I
yeah,
guess my next question is how do you deal with those kinds of things? Because you're doing a very in my opinion, you're doing such great work for the community. It's not
yeah,
something you have to do. Like you said, you could be harmful offering and then you could be
yeah,
like really mean and spiteful and things like that. But you're out here trying to give as much as you can to the community, be a part of the community, show love, and you're still getting people saying that you're doing something wrong. So how do you deal with that vicious cycle of no matter what you do, it feels
yeah.
like and to the outside perspective you're doing something wrong.
Part of it is there are certain people that you just need to ignore. Like part of the like I just recently reopened a Facebook account to create a harmless offering page on Facebook, but pretty much just cross posting my stuff from Instagram there. And I've gotten comments from people like, "Oh, look at that paneling. He must live in his mom's basement." And it's like, "No." But like the biggest thing I've done, I just don't engage because like I don't owe those people anything. And that's a like, sometimes it's weird to think, like, when I look at my follower counts, as far as Magic content creators go, I would say I am probably a medium-sized content creator at this point. I would no longer consider myself a small content creator.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about that is that I don't really like, I don't have any connections, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I live in the middle of nowhere in Connecticut. So, like, I can't go like, even if I were to ask, like, and try and reach out to some other creators that I think it would be cool to work with, I don't have the flexibility to do those things.
Yeah.
And also, like, I have severe social anxiety, like, awful social anxiety.
Yeah.
The reason why making videos and doing this is something I enjoy doing is because at some level I have control over what I'm putting out online. But like you put me in a room, like PAX was stressful
Yeah, I can only imagine then.
because it's like I'm running into I didn't get to talk to him, but like Gavin was there. Gavin Verhey was there.
Yeah.
Even meeting people like Mook Dubs or getting to see Tron is bad again. Like it's stressful for me to like interact with those people and like feel like I have a place at the table because like I would just be in my little cocoon if of my little safe cocoon. And so like like, even being on the podcast right now is, like, this is me stepping out of my comfort zone and talking about things that, like, you don't necessarily always want to talk about.
Yeah. And I appreciate it, by the way, because I know this kind of thing can be uncomfortable and vulnerable. And especially when you have those social anxieties. I have social anxieties too. I've had them for a long time. And I may not come across in the way I talk here, but masking
Yeah.
is a hell of a drug. So
Yes.
I'm able to I'm able to do it pretty okay. But I totally get that. And when I was in Atlanta, so many people were there and so many people that I've seen and even were mutuals with, and I still had so much trouble walking up to people to say hi.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that once I did start doing it, shout out Sullivan the Monster, who pushed me to say, like, just walk up to people and start saying hi, because we're all magic people, we're all magic nerds. Like, just go talk to people. They're just people. And I finally got to meet a lot of really cool people that now I'm getting to talk to doing this,
That's awesome.
who probably also have social anxiety because we all went through a pandemic where we didn't get to see anyone, and I feel like most people came out of that with a little more social
Yeah.
anxiety than they had before that. So thank you is the moral of
Yeah.
that story, because I think what you're doing is something very important for people to hear about. And like I said, you've seen the ebbs and the flows of magic and social media as a whole, with the changes to TikTok from from dancing to content to where it is today. The ebbs of
Yeah.
magic from only universes within to universes beyond to, again, where we are today, where
Secret
uh,
layers and
secret layers every week. It feels like. What is your outlook on? You said you came back in 2018. Were you playing before that too?
so I first learned the game in 2006.
Okay.
So around, like, Cold Snap, Original
Yep.
Time Spiral, that time frame is when I first started playing when I was in college,
Okay.
and then, like, it was at the point where, like, I could see how expensive the hobby was, and so I just had to get out so I could make ends meet, and
Yeah.
I was leaving college, I didn't have a playgroup to play with or anything like that, and so I didn't keep any of my cards at that point. Obviously, wish I did, everyone says that, but
Everyone does. Yeah.
so then I came back and got reintroduced to Commander in 2018 and like started playing again. And I would say I really just want people to be able to enjoy things.
Yeah.
And I really wish that more people just kind of had that mindset around the game in general. Cause like I understand, I understand why people don't like Universes Beyond, because like the tone of Magic has definitely shifted a lot in
Yeah.
the last 5 or 6 years. It's more playful, it's more fun, it's more wacky. There's all these different IPs, and the the flavor of the game is what has become a lot more chaotic, if you wanna
Hmm.
call it that.
Hmm.
But the way that I kind of look at it, though, is when it comes to things like alternate arts and secret layers and Universes Beyond, depending on how aware you were of it, like, people were already doing these types of things on their Magic cards.
Hmm.
Like, if there was an aspect of Magic that I wish I had the money to get into, it would be altars. I
Hmm.
absolutely love card alters, and, there are people that have been altering their favorite Star Wars characters or their favorite anime
Hmm.
characters or their pets onto their cards for decades.
Hmm.
And so, like, pretty much what the Secret Lair and Universes Beyond has done has taken that niche of what a small group of people were doing in Magic and then carried that out to the nth degree. And like the and this is something I also want to talk about. Those of us that are chronically online with Magic, there's people that are always like, "Oh, WotC doesn't care about what we think," or "They're not doing this thing and I'm angry at them." Doing this project in Harmless Offering has really helped me see way more of that very broad and very, very, very casual group of players that is the majority of Magic players.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
because I'm interacting with people that aren't necessarily consuming Magic general Magic content. They're not watching YouTube videos. They're not listening to Magic podcasts. They just wanna have some cards to play with. And so, like, when you see the things from WotC that say that there's a big community of people that love what's going on right now, they're not lying. We're just in a very small minority, a very vocal minority of people that are interacting with Magic at the level that we interact with it with.
Yeah. So I'm a wrestling fan. Speaking of Connecticut, because you have WWE headquarters in that state.
Yeah.
One of the things that is always talked about is the internet wrestling community and how they're very vocal about certain wrestlers they don't like or they do like, and they're not doing enough with those wrestlers. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not doing enough with some wrestlers. But there are some wrestlers that they're like, I don't understand why they are pushing them down our throat. And then you watch TV and everyone in the stadium's going crazy, right? So
Yeah.
like it's that same thing where the people who are talking about it online with Magic are like, this, that, and the other thing. But not everyone does, like you said, does talk about Magic. Some people are just playing or just, going to their store and doing their thing. They're not actually online talking about it, making videos, making comments, what have you.
Yeah.
And it is a wider thing. Like I'm not big on Universes Beyond, but that's only because it feels like it's overtaken the rest of Magic. I feel like there is a line, like a fine line to ride there, but I also
Alright.
understand it.
Can I get on a soapbox here about that?
Oh, hey, hey, this is your pod. Go for it.
So here's my position on that.
Okay.
So I understand that a lot of people are very unhappy about the amount of universes beyond that we get, but there's two sides to that coin. Number one, if you look back at the last year of in-universe sets, Aether Drift aside, I think I think that Aether Drift was them trying something new that didn't work.
Yep.
So I'm putting that off to the side. But you look at Tarkir, you look at Edge of Eternities,
Mhm.
you look at Duskmourn. Those are some of the best in-universe sets that we've had in forever,
I agree.
as far as mechanics, as far as gameplay, as far as world building. Like I was so upset that Spider-Man kind of crapped out Edge of Eternities because that Edge of Eternities might be my favorite set that I've played with and like opened and looked at since I came back in 2018.
I love that.
It was just it's such an incredible set. I love opening it. I love the stellar sights. But here's the other thing to remember about that is Wizards has a creative team that builds these worlds. It takes time for them to build these worlds, get art commissioned, and get those artists to make that, and make sure it all is cohesive with gameplay. That all takes time.
Yep.
So, whereas if you are looking at universes beyond, you already have an entire world that's built out for you.
Yep.
And all you're doing is taking the game design side of it and building around that world that is already built. We actually don't have any fewer in-universe sets, except for this year specifically, because they made the decision to do Avatar this year and Lorwyn next year. We have the same number of in-universe sets. Everything that's universes beyond as far as the standard side of it, which is in addition, which is an entirely different conversation, but the I think that a lot of people forget about if we're gonna talk about in-universe sets, the development and the design and the world building that is required to create those things, that takes time. And I think that it is I think that especially looking at the quality of the in-universe sets that we've been getting, like, I have a feeling that this Lorwyn set is going to like, I left right around Lorwyn, the first Lorwyn. It
Okay.
came out, and then I think I was out before Shadowmoor came out. But this Lorwyn set is probably going to be even better than Edge of Eternities.
I
And,
think
like,
you're right.
and and the reason why we're getting these incredible in-universe sets is because of Universes Beyond. Because Universes Beyond is funding those in-universe sets. Now, in my personal opinion, what like my perfect situation is that Hasbro would relinquish Magic. It's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
But but that ultimately is the problem is at this point, is that Wizards of the Coast is now, and specifically Magic, is essentially carrying Hasbro.
Sure.
And so those universes beyond is what's making it possible at this point for those incredible in-universe sets to now exist. That might be a hot take. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but at least with my understanding and my point of view, I don't think that we would be getting the quality of in universe sets if we didn't have universes beyond at this point.
I agree with you actually on that point, that if it was only universes within and the game wasn't growing, that not that it would fold, but like, maybe Hasbro would pull back a little bit. I actually agree with that, especially with how it's being run at this moment. If it was run by someone else, maybe it would be different, but the way it's being run right now, I actually wholeheartedly agree with that. The only issue I have with Universes Beyond, truly, is that it feels like it's caused spoiler season to be all the time.
Yeah,
The fact that we're already getting spoilers for what's
Marvel
after June.
superheroes or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, like we're already getting spoilers for Marvel superheroes, and that's 6, 7 months away. 6, 7.
Yeah,
It that is the hard part that I'm having with all this. Not so much that like I get the universe beyond. Like we're gonna do it. If you can monetize something, it's gonna happen. And I
yeah,
like a lot of the universe beyond set. I'm a little disappointed with how Spider-Man went, but that's more so I think because I was so tired from everything else that already came out, and I was so excited for Edge
yeah,
of Eternities as well. Edge of Eternities is fantastic. Tarkir, fantastic. Aether Drift, not great, but I think in time it will have gotten. We'll look at it with a little more rose-colored glasses.
yeah.
But it's just that I can't get too excited for one set before they're already spoiling something 6 months down the road. That's my biggest problem right now.
And I think that comes back to what we were talking about before, is that is a effect of us being a part of the community that we're a part of.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fair. That's fair.
because we want to be fully engaged all the time, that's what causes that fatigue.
Yeah,
And I think that's part of the hard part, is because for people like us, Magic is this massive part of our identity.
yeah,
And there are people that would say, "No, I just really like it." It's like, if you're as chronically on, like, if you're on Magic social media and you know when spoiler season is for every set, it's a big part of your life.
yeah,
And so, whenever Morrow gets asked about this, he always says, "It's like, listen, we don't expect you to the company doesn't expect everyone to buy every set. Like, it's almost like built into their model at this point that there's ones that we're gonna skip. It's just that we won't do that."
it's hard to, because if you're trying to create content about it, or like for you, you're trying to get cards to be able to give to people, like you have to kind of know what's happening, whether you like it or not, right? It's
Yeah,
it's it's you have to be in the know. Just like, whenever you're passionate about something, you try to know as much information as you can, and sometimes you know way too much information about that thing.
yeah,
And knowledge is power, but also makes you go mad because it's like, to use a term from other aspects of life, it's like the zone is being flooded, right? They flood the zone with
Yeah.
all this magic stuff all the time, whether it be new secret layer, new universes beyond, new other set promo they're doing with box lunch, for example.
Yeah.
Like there's so much information out there, and I'm so happy for the people who aren't chronically online with it, because they don't have to worry about it as much
Yeah.
as we do on a constant basis. But also, I wouldn't have it any other way, because then I wouldn't know a lot of these people that I know and love. So,
Yeah.
you take the good, you take the bad. It's something about the facts of life. So,
Yeah, 'cause and I think the other big thing too, because I think for most people, aside from, like, legacy diehards that remember when the Weatherlight was a new thing, someone enjoying Universes Beyond is one IP away.
yeah,
Because because ultimately, the reason why my epiphany moment for Universes Beyond and why I've just accepted it and, like, honestly just thoroughly enjoyed at this point is because of The Lord of the Rings.
yeah, yeah.
I am a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I've listened to the trilogy 4 times this year.
That's awesome.
That's usually what I do while I'm packing orders.
I love that.
And when being able to be engrossed in the world of Middle Earth while I play my favorite game of all time is it is an experience that is hard to explain.
It's cool as hell. Let's just call it what it is. It's cool as
Yeah,
hell.
it's such an incredible feeling to be
Yeah,
able to be in that world in, like, an active role, it feels like when you're playing your Lord of the Rings cards.
yeah.
Like, my pet deck is my Tanook Steadfast second deck. It's just big red creatures cheating to play. All of the basics from that deck are the Lord of the Rings Surge foil maps.
Love that.
And so,
Love.
that's my bling, and when I draw a land out of that deck, I can, like, remember part of the book.
That's awesome.
And it's just a really fun experience. And so that's why I think also with Universes Beyond, like, is there an IP that you haven't seen that you wish that you would be able to see?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. Do you have one in mind for yourself while I think about that?
I Mine just got announced. So when we did Lord of the Rings, there was so much stuff, like, with stuff from The Hobbit that we didn't get to see. And so, like, when I saw the announcement for The Hobbit next year, like, I've never really tried to be a ambassador up to this point.
That
I
would
am
be it.
going to tr I'm going to try and get ambassador for The Hobbit
That's fair.
because that is, like, because there's the there's the saga There and Back Again in Lord of the
Mhm.
Rings that just, like, briefly references Smaug. And the fact, like, there have been so many times when I'm like, "Why is there not a real Smaug card? Why is Smaug a token?" That's that's awful. And so knowing now that we're gonna get a legendary Smaug card in The Hobbit is so exciting.
Yeah, we're on our way there. It's that one. I also saw my wife is. I'm trying to find every way to get my wife into Magic. She's not a Magic player, but she knows stuff. And I told her, Avatar came out. She was like, she was a little hesitant because she knows based off of the previous Lord of the Rings set, which she loved looking at. Like, it's a beautiful set, right? The Lord of the Rings set was fantastic, so I'm really excited for the Hobbit set. I was like, oh yeah, the Hobbit's coming out, and you see the little, like, okay, I remember the Lord of the Rings set. Okay, maybe. So, I'm hoping maybe this will, like, finally convince her. Now that there's
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, there'll be Hobbit, there's Avatar. Three of her favorites. I'm like, if they end up throwing in like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think she'll just end up just playing Magic at that point. So
We got The Office. I think Brooklyn
yeah,
Nine-Nine isn't too big of a shake.
there's a chance. There's a chance. I know Jace, Elden Ring, and Dark Souls. I think those would fit pretty well with the aesthetic for that we got from Duskborn.
Yeah.
Just because dark. And by the way, Duskborn, one of my favorite sets ever. Because I don't think people would know this by looking at me or watching my stuff or anything. I'm really into horror. really, really
That's
into horror.
intriguing. I not
I
would not.
No one ever would. No, I love metal and I love horror. So yeah, people wouldn't
All right,
know that.
hold on, pause, 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 pause.
But yeah,
We're gonna
yeah,
need
yeah.
to go down a rabbit hole then.
Yeah,
Who are you
please.
listening to right now? If you're a
I listen
metalhead.
I listen to mostly baby metal and Hanabi, so it's a lot of J metal and K metal.
Okay, so J metal, love that. So you
I've
like
been I've been listening to a lot more. Oh my gosh, I just forgot his name. They just did a song with him. Slaughter to Prevail. Slaughter to Prevail.
okay, yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
listened to a lot of Slaughter to Prevail. So, and then I listen to like Death Clock, if anyone knows what Metalocalypse
Yep.
is, and I listen to Black Dahlia Murder every once in a while too. Still, so
Oh,
um,
I've got a band I gotta put you on. If you like Black Dahlia Murder, look up a band called Agriculture.
okay,
They
I'm
are
looking.
they're based out of LA.
Okay,
They are what they call ecstatic black metal.
love it. I'm in.
And
I'm in.
like so it's really fast stuff like Black Dahlia Murder, and then also has some really eerie stuff too. So look up Agriculture. I've been listening to a lot of stuff, a little bit more on the deathcore side, like there's a Brazilian band called Axty, Axty,
Okay,
that my brother saw at a live show recently. They are very, very good.
oh, I'm in.
And another in the same vein is like Black Dahlia and Agriculture is a band called Frail Body. Yeah,
Body. Okay,
if I was so before I got into magic and before I went through like got married and stuff, like music was a massive part of my life. Like I was in a
hmm
metal band.
I
So
never say again. Never would have guessed that. Never.
yeah, I was a vocalist in a metal band. So you and we're gonna have to
We'll
go
have to
down that
chat.
rabbit hole, go through that rabbit hole a little bit more.
It sounds like you'll just have to come back and we'll be able to talk more about that. Or I mean, we can do it off too. But hey,
Yeah,
like the content, baby. Also, another one I forgot to mention, Necrogoblicon, because I've seen them live and they're fantastic. If you never heard of Necrogoblicon,
I
they're
have listened
really,
to
really
them. I haven't seen them live, but
they're great. They're
also,
live. They're great. They're absolutely fantastic.
have you ever seen Meshuggah live?
I've not.
Make that a bucket list item for you.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
if Meshuggah comes through, you need to go see them because they.
Okay.
I can send you some videos of the times I've gotten to go see them, and it
Please do.
is. Do you listen to Meshuggah at all?
I a little bit, not a ton. So like, I have to
I'm.
like get confirm myself with them. Yeah.
They're incredible, especially like if you like the techie stuff. It's very
I do.
good.
I do. I really
Um,
do. That's so funny. It's so funny that we're into very similar styles of music at this point. Again, never would have guessed. Like you said, you never would have guessed I was into horror. I never would have guessed you were in a metal band. So
yeah,
this is very, very fun. I really, really love that. And I have them all written down because I need to make sure I go listen and watch and all those things.
yeah,
But I was gonna say the reason I saw Necrogoblicon is because I was going to see Dragon Force and Death Clock live.
nice.
I'd already seen Death Clock a couple times before that. I went to go see Baby Metal and Death Clock, which oh my gosh, I think I almost died, not because of anything other than I was
Just joy.
tired. As yeah, I was joyful and tired. I was so tired because the mosh pits were crazy, especially when you're in your 30s and your knees are
Yep.
bad. Very
Oh,
crazy.
I don't touch mosh pits. Those days are far behind me, but I
I
definitely
don't
spent
blame
some
you.
time in them.
You know what? I wish I would have like thought of that before I got into it. I was like, you know what? It'll be fine. And then I was like, you know what? This is not, this is not fine.
My best friend, I saw my best friend get knocked down, and he got brain damage in a pit.
Oh
And
no.
so I was like, he's fine now, but like he got temporary brain damage. So
Okay.
like that for me, that was like, I don't know, 8 years ago. So once I saw that, like it was crazy because I was literally about to go in the pit with him, and then he just went down. So that memory is what keeps me out of the pit at this point.
That's fair. I don't blame you. That's very, very fair. I know we could talk about this all day, but I also know you have a tight window here, so I don't want to keep you forever. We'll have to just
No,
talk more. This was a
we'll just
blast.
we'll keep talking until I could probably go a little bit longer.
Cool, cool.
And I would say another one that I just thought of, and I know that we're getting it. Stormlight Archive Magic set.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's going to happen. Do you read Brendan Sanderson? Do you do books at all aside from, like, the more classic stuff?
I don't read a ton. I know the name Brandon Sanderson,
Yeah.
so I when I would go shopping at like the grocery store or whatever, at least the grocery stores by us, they have like that little book section that has like the like the paperbacks or whatever. And so
Yeah.
I'm looking it up just to make sure. I've seen like Oathbringer before, like
Yeah.
I've seen these covers. I've seen, The Way of Kings. Like I don't know. I just like looking at book covers for some reason. I've
Yes.
never read
Oh,
them, but I like looking at book covers because they're beautiful. So
do you know Davriel in
no.
Magic? So there's a Planeswalker Davriel. When did you start playing?
So I started playing in the 90s,
Okay.
which I know sounds weird, but I started playing around a little after Ice Age.
Okay.
I was into Pokemon, and then all the people in my shop were like, "You should play." It was a million different things. So like they tried to get me into Yu-Gi-Oh. I didn't really do that. They got me into Digimon. They got me into Dragon Ball Z. They got me into Magic as well. So I played for a little while, got out of it, came back in 17.
Okay. So you
And I
came
didn't
back
really.
around the same time I did.
Yeah, yeah, I came back Amonkhet. That's when I came back in particular. And I'm
Yeah.
still trying to get used to all the planeswalkers because there's a million of them, and I don't use them a ton. I'm looking now. I've seen Davriel. I don't know anything about Davriel though. I'll be
So
completely honest.
Davriel is created by Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, okay.
So that was his first foray into. So if you like in universe stuff, Brandon wrote a story for Magic Story.
Oh, okay.
And so Davriel is actually a Magic character that was created by Brandon Sanderson.
Interesting.
So that and there was just there's been some recent videos online of him
Mhm.
being at WotC headquarters. So,
Mm,
like, the writing is on the walls. We're
yeah,
going to get a Brandon Sanderson in universe set, and it's going I've read so he's, like, probably one of the most prolific authors of our time. Like, he's written, I think, something like 40 books in the last 10 years. It's insane.
jeez, so
The
much.
man is a machine, and his most his current most popular series is something called the Stormlight Archive. That's what Oathbringer is
Oh,
part of. And the world building, like, if you wanna talk about having a world building type thing that fits directly into Magic, it's Stormlight Archive. And, like, so when that set comes out, might that honestly might take over Final Fantasy and Lord of the Rings as because the people who love Brandon Sanderson books.
gotcha.
So,
And those are very bats.
yes.
So that says a
Uh,
lot. Even I've never played Final Fantasy, and even I was like, "This is pretty fucking cool."
yeah. What was your favorite card from Final Fantasy?
I love Tifa. I know that's probably pretty basic, but like I just love her mechanics in there, like melee.
Yeah.
I like combat in Magic, and that's something that like I don't think people swing enough. That you try to do the pingy thing, or you try to do the Orzhov thing, or try to get your combo off. I just want to hit people. like
Yep.
I just most of my decks are combat based, and they're probably glass cannons, half of them, but that's okay because I just like you got 40 life. I want to bring it down, right? And there's
Yeah.
three of you, so I want to bring down all the life totals.
So
So
do
I
you
love
play
it.
any
So I love Tifa.
do you play any 60 card stuff then?
So I do have a modern deck. I don't play it often because I don't go to tournaments.
Yeah.
But it's a budget version of a deck. It's Rosy Cotton and Scurry Oak. It's make
Okay.
tokens. It's make a bunch of tokens and then hope I can swing for like a million, basically. Or
That's
so
awesome.
again, combat and modern. I know it's weird.
Yeah,
And
good
also
luck with
we
that.
I know, right? And then we do like kitchen sink too. So like I have a few like just thrown together decks that are either, uncommons and lower, or just random decks that maybe could fit into like a modern or something, but that's not the point of it. It's just like, hey, I want to play Is It, but I want to play like Fevered Visions and stuff like that, where they're not really viable for anything other than to play with my friends. So those are really the only 60 cards I play.
Do you play an arena at all?
I do. So I played a little standard now because of Arena.
All right.
Not very good at. I'm not very good at it.
I'll need to get your tag for Arena when we're
Absolutely,
done.
absolutely.
Because I've been playing, so I play Brawl on Arena a lot because I'm a
Yeah,
singleton. Like, honestly, one of my favorite parts about Commander is um
Singleton.
is the singleton nature of it.
I agree. I agree.
So I play a lot of Brawl, but I've been playing talking about combat. I've been playing Mono White Humans in Pioneer on Arena,
Okay,
and it is so much fun. Like,
interesting.
essentially just big, go wide, try and win by like turn 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And like I really do wish that realistically white weenie aggro was something that you could do in Commander, but it's just not.
Yeah, it's really hard. I have a Orzhov little guys deck, but it turned up to it was a McCready. So, you know,
Okay.
the Skulk if power 2 or less, and it just turned
Yeah.
into an or your typical Orzhov deck because the little guys just take too long to do the thing that you want them to do.
Yeah.
So I understand the frustration with that. I also do play Elf Ball in Historic, which
Okay.
I'm very shameful of because I hate Elf Ball, but it's very effective.
Yeah. You gotta get
Yeah.
your dailies.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, right? Hey, it works. It goes fast, and if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. Cool. Like you said, got to get your dailies. So yeah, we have so much more that we could talk about. I don't want to keep you forever though. So I do have a
No,
few like ending
y-
questions,
of
if you don't
course.
mind. If you don't mind. But truly, this is fantastic. But just phenomenal time that I've had with you. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. They're going to be the hardest questions you'll ever hear in your life. And
Okay.
how much of that is true is probably not at all true. They're not going to be hard at all. But the first thing that I want to ask you is, what is your favorite all-time card?
My favorite all-time card is Orification. It is 3 to white for an enchantment that, let me actually get the card text so I can read it. I have an idea of what it is, but I just want to make sure I'm reading it right. This sadly is on the reserved list, which I hate, but
I also dislike the reserve list, but we'll keep that. It is from Onslaught
yeah,
too.
yeah. Orification is 2 and 2 white for an enchantment. Whenever a creature deals damage to you, put a gold counter on it. Each creature with a gold counter on it is a wall in addition to its other creature types, so it can't attack. And then when Orification leaves play, remove all gold counters from all creatures. My second favorite deck is my Aloro deck, and right
Boy.
now it's a Secret Hope S-Dime deck, so
Oh,
it's Esper Mill. But I love pillow fort decks because it's not so much like I don't want to play stacks. I don't want to stop you from playing the game, but that doesn't mean I can't stop you from doing things to me in the game.
yes.
So that's why I love Orification so much.
Interesting.
Um,
I've never seen I don't think I've ever seen that one, and again, like, I was really young back then when I would have actually seen that card because I have Onslaught card from back then, but I do not remember that card offhand, so I was playing a lot of zombies back then anyway, so that's probably
yeah,
but if that would've happened to me, I would've been like, "Man, this card is broken." And now you
yeah,
now today, you're just like, "It's a card," but I really
yeah.
like it. It's a really good card.
I like it a lot, and I like that it gives people the option to attack me, but it's just not
Yes.
a good idea for them to do so.
Yeah, and if they're in a defender deck, then you know what? You take that L. You're just like, "You know what? You were a defender deck anyway. What was I gonna do?"
Yeah.
Do you have a I know you mentioned earlier one of your favorite deck, what your pet deck. Do you have is that your favorite deck that you would think, or is there a deck all time that you've built that you're like, "This is the deck that I would consider my favorite?"
So Tanook
Yes.
is an extension of what was my favorite deck. Tanook's
Okay.
just better. The commander of that deck used to be Ilharg the Razebore.
Oh, I love Elhard.
Yeah, but just the way that commander pods have been going, having your entire situation be dependent on combat from your commander, it's very glass cannon. Whereas with Tanook, the way that Tanook works, you can cast things and kind of get your value that way. Ilharg is in the deck, so I can still cheat things in through combat. But I don't think I had ever won a game with Ilharg, my LGS's Commander Knights. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take the L, keep Ilharg in the deck, and just kind of adjust it slightly so that I can cast things for cheaper, not just cheat them into play. But Ilharg was in like And I think that's part of what I've like between playing mono white humans and Pioneer, and now also everything I'm doing with my Tanook and my Ilharg deck. One thing I'm really trying to do is get really, really good at like a single deck rather than having to have 1,000 different decks that I play.
That's fair. I'm very much a person that if I start playing the same deck, I get really bored really quickly. So I have like 10, but I respect the people who are like, I'm gonna have one or two, make them really good, and then like, go from there. I think that's respectable.
It's not even the
And
matter of me making the deck really, really good. It's more the fact that I like. Do you follow CDH content at all?
yes, yes, I do.
Just like being able to know what your lines are that way is something that is really intriguing to me to get to know the intricacies of a deck. So
Yes,
that's more what I mean, more than making the
that's fair.
deck really,
Okay.
really good. Just like being able to play the deck in any situation and
Yeah.
see how I can find my outs.
Yeah. That's also why I like modern, not because I think the way modern is built right now is healthy. It's okay. It's better than it was probably a year ago, but because knowing your lines is so important. Because if you mess up one line, it messes up your whole flow, and then you're just like, I'm done because I can't do anything. So I actually agree with the knowing your lines thing. I've started dabbling in CEDH, and I'm not great at it, but that's more so because I the meta is not something I really want to lean into. But
Yeah.
it's fun. It is fun to know what you're doing and be able to work around certain situations because if I do this line, then I can get there, kind of thing. I agree
Yeah.
with
I'll be honest, as far as content goes, as far as like the content that I consume for
that.
long form content, I would much rather watch a CDH video than a regular Commander video. Not
For
that there's
sure.
anything wrong with the creators. I like just with where my brain is at and how much time I spend thinking about Magic. Watching CDH gameplay is just really interesting to me.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. CDH is very that's I think that's why I kind of started because I want to like understand what they're seeing when they're playing it because because when you're bird's eye you can understand it a little better but when you're in the thick of it it's so much more interesting to be like oh this is why they're doing XYZ. Also, side note, make more Kavus, Wizards,
Yes, please,
because
for the
you have
love
many
of
spells.
God.
Make more
I don't
Hog.
understand. Like we got Tanook and the 2 mana Warp Kavu, and like I can't even really play that Kavu. Like, give me more Kavus.
Yeah. It's definitely something that, if you can make more spiders the way they just did. I know it's Spider-Man, but still. It made a ton more spiders. Let's make more Kavus. Just jam it in there. I don't care. It's how you do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Maybe we'll get someone Reality Fracture.
Yeah, there you go. And make them also not just Gruul, maybe. Just
Y-
throwing that out there.
Yeah,
But that's beside the point. What is a card that you believe in your decks, whether it be colorless or multicolored, whatever, that you play most often? I
I
can
would
tell you for
say
me, I play Elixir of Mortality in just about every deck that I possibly can because
that's
I love that card.
so. I would say it's not colorless.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah,
But if I'm playing a deck that has white, I'm playing Authority of the Consoles.
it's a good card. That's why.
Because I think that as much as I want to be able to play the big splashy cards, having something to do on turn one that doesn't require ramp, I just
Mhm.
think is so, so important. And so I would say, off the top of my head, if I'm thinking through my decks, both on Arena and in paper, Authority of the Console is a card that I will play whenever I can.
Absolutely agree. You really should. If in my opinion, because gaining life is always a good thing. B,
Hmm.
slowing your opponents down is never a bad thing. And C, if nothing else, it takes the ire of some of the removal away from the other things you have on your board. So, if they spend one Beast Within on your Authority of the Councils and not on your commander, you know what? Okay, that's my
Before Alchemy came in and changed the format so dramatically that I couldn't
yeah.
really do it anymore. My favorite deck to play on Arena was my Phyrexian on Life and Solemnity combo deck.
Oh my god.
There's actually a video online of a stream that I did. I think it's online, or I need to post it, where the game took 2.5 hours,
On
and
a
then
re
on Arena, and then the client crashed, and we ended in a draw.
that's I what? That's wild. Like, I feel like when I take a half-hour game, I'm just like, "This is taking forever." 2.5 hours on Arena?
Yeah, I was
That person must have been in the tank.
yeah, I was well, it's because what happened was because I had my combo down and I didn't have any removal,
Mhm.
we were just passing back and forth, and I just kept making more stuff, but then he had something in play that was preventing me from actually winning, so I was trying to just deck him out, and it just didn't happen. It just the client
It just crashed
crashed.
instead. That's wild. Oh my gosh. That's a good story, actually. That's great. People are gonna hear that and they're gonna be like 2.5 hours in Arena. Like, I'm walking away.
Yeah.
I'd walk away.
I'm literally well, that's part of being a Magic player who has kids. I'm literally playing while I'm putting my kids to bed.
Yeah, oh, see, look, yeah,
That's why I like
you're
Arena.
you're like, "Cool." Like, I got time. My timeout will shoot in. I'll be fine. That's awesome. Wow, okay, Authority of the Councils, though, fantastic card,
Yeah,
and that deck, very scary, I don't wanna ever play that. What is a card you think people should play more often, or a mechanic people should play more often, or play style people should do more
Convoke.
Oh,
Mechanically Convoke. Like, we talk so much about how important ramp is,
mhm,
and being able to Convoke is as far as mechanics go, Convoke is my favorite mechanic. I don't play a ton of it because creatures are just in this weird spot in Commander where if they aren't massive value pieces, you can't do as much with them. But
yep,
that's going back to like how much I love White Weenie. I don't remember the name of the card, but there's the Oblivion Ring that you can convoke in from Ravnica, Allegiance or Guilds of Ravnica. I love that card. And I just think being able to and what I think makes Convoke even
Conclave
better.
Tribunal,
Yes, Conclave Tribunal, yes. What makes being able to play Convoke even better is that your convoking is part of the cost,
mhm,
so they can be summoning sick too.
mhm.
So that is I just think it's an underrated mechanic, and I wish they did more of it.
I agree. One of my favorite is it's from Doctor Who. Speaking of universes beyond again, everything comes to dust.
What's that?
It has convoke. It costs 7, or no, it costs 10. I'm sorry, it costs 10.
Okay.
But you can convoke it, and you exile all creatures that don't have the same type as a creature that convoked the spell. All artifacts, enchantments, and I think planeswalkers. So basically, it's an exile. It's a farewell, but you get to keep the creatures that you convoked with. Anything that matches the type.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a really good
What are the colors on that?
it's white. It's 3 white and 7. I played
Okay.
it in my Aragorn deck because
Mhm.
Aragorn is
Yep.
so it's just you have a whole bunch of humans, you tap a whole bunch of humans and then say, "Exile everything that's not a human," and more often than not, I mean, maybe someone else has, like, 1 or 2 things, but you're left with, like and you're fine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good card. I'm a big fan of it. It has won me a couple games just because, I'm left with a whole bunch of open humans because by the time you can play it, you probably have like 7 mana otherwise. So you just hit
Yeah,
3 humans, tap the 7, wipe the board, win the game. It's pretty good.
it's
Especially if
awesome.
you're in a Convoke, because Convoke is very good. What's the something concealment has Convoke as well. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But the one that phases out all your creatures, like, that's another really good
Mhm.
card. Has Convoke. Convoke's just good. Just play more Convoke. I agree. Convoke is great.
Yes.
One last question I have for you, and again, I thank you for all your time here.
Oh,
It's been a blast
this has
here.
been a blast.
This has been so much fun. What are some hopes that you have for yourself, for the community, and for maybe Magic as a whole? Clever Concealment. Thank you, Jace. Clever
Okay,
Concealment is the name of the card I was thinking of. But what are some
okay.
hopes that you have for yourself, the community, and Magic as a whole in the next coming months, years, even days?
I would say I have 2, kind of 3, because they go hand in hand. The first one we kinda started off talking about at the beginning, and I really do think that I'm gonna be able to open this game store in the
Fingers
next
crossed.
couple years. Like, that is the goal. I've been working for other people for so long and doing what other people want that, like, I do believe that I'll be able to do that soon. And the next thing is I think this is super important I think needs to continue working in the direction of of having game stores be safe spaces for marginalized communities and women. As a dad to 3 daughters, I want to be able to open a game store and have that be a place where my daughters feel safe, and I think that just the crap that I see just online and the stuff that I know goes on LGS tables, it's really upsetting to me. And so those are my two big hopes, that I'll be able to open my own game store and that Magic will continue to grow into something that is truly for everyone, not just people who necessarily look like me.
I love that, and I support that vision. Harmless Offering 2028.
Yeah.
No, I think those are some really good hopes, and I think as it comes to the LGS, I think that's definitely a possibility. And when, if and when that opens, I will be there hopefully for the day it opens, because I want to support you in every way that I can, because you're doing great work. As it comes to the Magic being a place for everyone, I can't say it hasn't gotten better. It has, but we're not. We're still working. We're still working.
Yeah. Like I
Um,
said, it's a continuation because
yeah,
I think that the company itself has started to do things that are making it more equitable and open, but the community still has a lot of work to do.
yeah. I think that's important, and the more we can support each other. Shout out to groups like Birds of Paradise and Women in Magic, and
Yes.
things like that that are doing the work to try to help those marginalized communities feel like they have a place, and make sure that people know that it's it's something that anyone can do, no matter the age, race, gender,
Yeah.
sexuality, anything in between. Like this we want this to be for everyone. And I think that's what's great about you, is you are trying to make this for everyone, including people who maybe never thought they'd be able to afford some specific Magic card, or
Yeah.
they're able to at least get something. I think it's great, and I Harmless, thank you so much for just what you do and for being here with us today. Is there anything you want to plug in particular, or anything coming up in the future that you're going to be at that maybe people can catch you?
I would just go on over to harmlessoffering.com, browse the website up through the end of the year. All of my t-shirts, tank tops, tote bags, they're all 15% off right now to try and help me get some funds and things like that. And grab some free cards from the Harmless Card Bank because that's what I love doing. And just please be patient with me as I get those orders back because it does take time. And last but certainly not least, trans rights are human rights, and be kind to the people around you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I double everything again. Harmless Offering 2028. You know, like you're just making it more clear that this is where the way we should go. I agree with all of that. Trans rights are human rights, and we got to be kinder and nicer to each other, and not just because it's something that will gain us some kind of thing, but because it's the right thing to do. And we are a community, and we can't be a community without having each other's backs. So the more we do that, the better we all become. So I agree with you. I appreciate you. I think what you're doing is awesome. Also, harkening back to something from the beginning of the video, make sure you go check out the YouTube video that Harmless did, giving away the cards, and parents freaking out because their kids are getting free cards at PAX Unplug. I think you're doing great, and we got to support it so that it can keep going, it can grow, and you can do the things you want to do in the community.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, and everyone, thank you for your time coming on here with Chatter Gang. Just remember, when despair tries to win, counter with hope. Have a great day.
Always.